Hello, my name is Kate, and if you don't know me, and even if you do, something you probably don't know about me is that I really love to read. One of my favorite authors once wrote, "One must always be careful of books and what is inside of them, for words have the power to change us." They have absolutely changed me. I found that I learned something from almost every story, that there is a degree of truth to each of them, even if I'm reading about aliens or superheroes. I look at my life a lot like a story as well. In reading, I learned that even if you're a wizard, even if you're the chosen one, you have no hope in defeating Voldemort without the help of your friends. I learned that the fairy tales are true, not just because they tell us that dragons can be real, metaphorically obviously, but that they can also be beaten. I learned that you should always open every door, especially closets, to check for Narnia, that even if you're not in Wonderland, that there is still plenty of sense in nonsense, and to believe 6 impossible things before breakfast is the best way to live. I once read a book about a fake town called Agloe in New York. It was a true story about a paper town, a watermark on a map. However, so many people came to what in reality was just an intersection of 2 dirt roads expecting to see a town that someone actually built a town. Well, just a gas station and a welcome to Agloe sign, but close enough. Recently, I realized that this is more than just a cool story about a map. It's the most amazing metaphor to show that fiction, what we make up, what we dream, what we can simply just believe in, can become a reality. In the process of applying to college, we are asked to write in a tiny, unassuming box what our intended major is, essentially what we want to do with the rest of our lives. With just the existence of that unjustly tiny box comes a massive load of stress, sadness, and self-doubt. You wonder if you are good enough for your dreams. Agloe was a paper town, something totally fictionalized, but so many people believed in it that it came true. I realized that there is a whole lot to be said for believing something so fully, so firmly, that it becomes reality. Similarly, this reminds me of another book I read when I was very, very young. It was about a girl that needed to fight a dragon. She thought it was impossible to beat, and she was explaining to a Mad Hatter that it was in fact ridiculous to believe that a small girl could defeat a fire-breathing dragon. In response, the Hatter said, "Sometimes I believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast." So, obviously, as stories do go, Alice defeated the dragon because she believed what was impossible. It made me wonder what would happen if I believed what I deemed impossible. If I believed that I would do well on a test that I didn't study for, if I believed that one day One Direction would get back together, if I told myself with such conviction that I could do it, whatever it could be, what would happen? So because of books, I realized that to believe something absolutely, totally, fantastically absurd is the best way to live. Books taught me not to worry about tomorrow like it's promised, because in just about every fantasy novel, the main character is going about their totally normal life, and it takes just a few hours, minutes even, for Percy Jackson to find out that he is a half-blood, or for Harry Potter to find out that he is a wizard. Worrying is a waste of time. If things are bad, they will get better, and you never really know what tomorrow brings. Every chapter holds something new. Chapters pass by fast, too, however. Some books are quick reads, so you need to make sure that you read every word, that you don't skip around, because when you turn back the pages, the story just doesn't read the same. A really old poet wrote, "Of all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these, it might have been." So, do as much as you can in your story, because nobody likes a slow-build novel. I also know that some books have sad endings, and to ensure that my book doesn't have a sad ending, I should never waste too much time being sad. I read and reread a few books about a wizard who was the chosen one. He was able to do a lot on his own, but so is Voldemort. However, there is one specific thing that he had that made him stronger that Voldemort didn't, and that was love. He had friends and family and teachers who stayed with him, loved him, and believed in him. Before I read these books, I really did think I could get through my entire life on my own. I even wanted to. I felt apathetic, numb, towards virtually everything. But I realized if even Harry Potter needed his friends and family, then maybe I did too. I am able to say confidently that I have the absolute best friends in the whole entire world. City, Jenna, Alyssa, and Carly. I'm not sure what I would have done if I didn't have you guys, and I owe all of my best memories to the things we've done together. Please be ready to pick up your phones hourly next year. And I would say a lot more, but I'm afraid of crying in front of the entire school, so I think I'm just going to stick with the most genuine and wholehearted thank you. Mr. Avard, thanks for being the best advisor ever these last 4 years. Sorry I cry 3 times a day. If this was Hogwarts, you would be like Dumbledore. Mom and Dad, thanks for believing me in everything I do, and for being the 2 consistent viewers of my book blog. And Mom, shout out to the A-team. Trevor, you leave mean comments on my book blog that I have to delete, but you're still my best friend ever. Love you guys. I found my time in high school to be like a big old story, a book that would take you a year to read and properly analyze, and although there would be a feeling of finality in the last pages of the great book of high school, these last pages coming up so soon, this is a story that I will think about and reread often. I value books for some weird reason, and I don't really know why, but I guess if I were to give you advice, which I think is the point of a senior speech, I would say to check out my book blog, it's pretty good, and to remember that your life is your story. Write well and edit often. Thank you.